today's topic. Yeah, so first of all, you have asked the Kundalini Awakening, Kundalini activation, okay, and how it wakes up and how it should travel and where to travel, these things, right? And what happens when Kundalini wakes up? All these questions. But in addition to these questions, I will cover all other things also. So please uh, try to pay attention on my words. So first, Kundalini. Kundalini is an energy which dwells at Muladhara chakra. Muladhara chakra is the root chakra, base chakra, at the bottom of the spine. Okay. Actually, we teach and train all these things in our Kundalini Yoga teacher training courses or Chakra Healing courses. But still, I will explain. And as much as you could understand, that will be well. So Kundalini is life force, and that dwells at the root chakra, Muladhara chakra, in 3.5 coiled form. Coiled. Kundalini means simply coiled. So that is basically energy. There is no snake, there is no serpent, there is nothing there like that. But what is there is energy, life force, life energy. So Kundalini is the energy of the root chakra. Okay. And that is vital force, life force, Jivani Shakti or Shakti. These are Sanskrit words which is used for Kundalini. And this is Shakti, this is power. And when this wakes up, then we have to channelize it. And normally when this wakes up, then we have to clear the path by keeping our spine straight. If our spine will be curved, bent, then that will not move freely and that will not reach its destination. And Kundalini is destined to reach to the crown chakra. Rather, that has to cross the crown chakra also, and that has to travel more far, the crown, to the universe. So Kundalini comes from the universe and enters into the universe. Okay. Now, there are different stations which Kundalini crosses when it wakes up. And the first station comes, that is the next chakra, what we call Swadhisthana chakra or sacral chakra. So that reaches to that point. And while it crosses all these crossings, this activates every chakra where it goes, because that is force. And that activates wherever it goes, wherever it crosses. So first it activates Swadhisthana. Then the next thing we have to do is we have to take this to the next upper chakra, Manipur chakra, which is solar plexus. Then also we have to take this to the upper chakra, heart chakra, Anahata chakra, Vishuddhi chakra, Ajna chakra, crown chakra. And when it reaches crown chakra, then that is the gateway of divine that enters into the divine world. And then it feels union with Shiva, what people call Shiva in Tantra. And in different yoga styles, yoga traditions, this is called divine, God, Brahm, Ishwar. There are different names, different terms. And enlightenment is impossible without reaching the Kundalini energy into the crown chakra. That is impossible. One can have feeling of Kundalini awakening, but that is just the beginning. That is just the beginning. But it is accomplished when it reaches to the crown, then only you reach the goal of this journey. So Kundalini yoga journey or any kind of yoga. So yoga is union of Shakti with Shiva, union of energy with consciousness. So Shakti is energy, life force, and Shiva is consciousness. And when this reaches here, then you will be enforced or forcefully you will enter into the transcendental state. Samadhi, what you call samadhi, absorption, and Kaivalya, Nirvana, there are different terms for that state. Okay. But there are some symptoms of this awakening. If your body is not pure, then you'll have different kind of reactions your body will react. So first thing is cleansing, purification of our carnal part of the being, this body. Okay. So we have to first cleanse, purify the centers. We have to clear the path, Sushumna channel, because this is Sushumna, which is the central channel through which Kundalini travels, through which Kundalini moves. But if Sushumna is not active, is not clear, then that will travel in the curved way. Curved. This is called Tiryak Gati. In yoga, we call it Tiryak Gati. Lina is studying this advanced Kundalini, so she knows that term. Tiryak Gati. Tiryak means curved movement of Kundalini or bent movement of Kundalini. And when this doesn't find the straight path, then that will move, in different way, and one can feel uneasiness in the stomach area or uneasiness in heart area also. One can feel the gases, gas, this kind of things, because that is kind of vital force, ethereal energy. So Kundalini is more Vayu, Vayu, air. Kundalini is more air. But this is more subtler than air also. This is spiritual energy. Okay. And every movement, every activity you do in your body is because of the energy. And from medical perspective, you know that because of nervous system. If you are blinking your eyelids, because of nervous system, because of the neuro pathway. And if you are moving hands, if you are moving eyes, or if you are moving body in different way, this is because of the nervous system, right? So Kundalini is a spiritual energy, but you feel that energy in your body, physical body also. And you feel the sensation, the energy at different stations, what you call chakras. Okay. So Kundalini is that energy, but there is energy at every center. Please note this. There is energy at every center. There is energy at the heart center also. There is energy at solar plexus. There is energy at sacral, throat chakra, third eye, crown. It has its own energy. But Kundalini is the energy of the root chakra. Okay. And one more thing at the end I would mention is, if your crown chakra is active, then that will attract Kundalini to reach there. This is like when consciousness wakes up, then the energy or force naturally follows the consciousness. Okay. Energy, Kundalini energy, or the energy. Just forget Kundalini. Forget Kundalini. Just remember the energy. Energy. And energy always follows the consciousness. If your consciousness is downward, then your energy will flow downward. If your consciousness is flowing to the negative things, Kundalini or your energy will start flowing towards the negative thing. If your consciousness is focusing positive things, divine things, then the energy will go towards the divine. That is how we sublimate the energy. Okay. We have to sublimate the energy. And at the end, I will finish with is, you are the master of the energy, not the servant of the energy. Energy is your servant. Okay. You are the master. You have to harness the energy. If you not harness, then energy will rule you. You have to rule the energy. Otherwise, energy will rule you. Okay. And some symptoms of awakening is shivering of the body, shaking of the body, movement of the body, and you give up. When you give up, when you don't control it, you simply witness with drashta bhav, with sakshi bhav. The more you are in Sakshibhav, the more you are in Drashtabhav, the more freely Kundalini will serve your purpose, will serve you. Okay? And then you will start noticing the dance of this energy, and you feel utmost joy. You feel immense energy, immense joy. But when this remains in the lower chakras, then your body will move. Then your body will be dynamic. The more higher it reaches, the more calmness and peace you will start experiencing. So long it is at lower chakras, you will feel movements, dynamism. But when it reaches to the higher chakras, then you will feel that it is becoming more calm. Right? When it reaches to heart chakra, then you will feel very, like love is spreading through your heart. Love is sense. And love is very calming. When you are in love, then you don't want to speak. Do you want to speak? No. When that is at the solar plexus, then you start different movements in your body. Your body moves in different ways. Your body will start practicing different postures, different movements, different flow of movements, asanas, what you call vinyasa, different flows. When it is at the sacral chakra, then you feel a kind of, what is called the rapture word. That is called sexual energy. So that will activate your sexual energy. And when that activates, then you feel joy also. But that moment, you may feel sensation, sensuality. You may feel a kind of, appetite of making, copulation, making physical relationship. But you don't have to stop there. If you'll stop there, then you may deplete that energy. What you have to do is take this to the navel chakra. Navel chakra is more higher than the sacral one. When it reaches to there, then you will preserve your fluid energy. Fluid energy means, that, right? In a male, that is called semen. In female, that is called as different Raj in Sanskrit, Raj and Virya. Okay, so we have to preserve Raj and Virya, and then we have to transmute to the navel center. Then you will feel more physical strength. When it reaches to heart, then you will feel universal love. When it reaches to here, then you will start communicating the truth of the existence, truth of the divine. When it reaches here, then you will start comprehending the secrets of the universe. What you call the realization of truth. The realization of truth is experienced by reaching here, by being here. But when you reach there, then there is nothing, no realization, no visual, no audio, nothing. That is called complete nirvana, transcendental state, or samadhi, or kaivalyam. So this is the entire Kundalini philosophy, entire Kundalini journey. But one has to experience this. One has to activate this. Sometimes this activates unconsciously, naturally. Because of looking at certain things, you trigger that corresponding chakra, and that activates. If you are using red color is very powerful to activate Kundalini. Red color, right? If you somehow are in a posture which activates Kundalini, that will activate, right? If you are chanting different mantras, or if you are listening different music, different sound, music is sound, right? Different vibrations, then you will activate Kundalini unconsciously. But you can use these tools consciously to activate Kundalini. Okay? Not only Kundalini, but to any chakra. And you activate the crown chakra simply by becoming silent, simply by practicing of non-striving, non-seeking, non-finding, non-doing, passive. You become very passive. Okay? Although you are passive, but you are, very, universal. The current is very powerful. Although you are very peaceful, calm, but the energy is very exalted, divine. Okay? Well, so that was it. Now, if you have any question, please ask.
Yeah, can I ask something, Guruji?
Yes.
When I was reading, because it has been a while since we met, but one of the things that I was reading, and when sometimes the reaction starts in while you're doing the Kundalini Awakening, for example, like the insomnia, headaches. But what really took my whole attention was the schizophrenia. How?
Yes. Actually, uh, that happens because of the activation of Kundalini and mismanagement of that. If you will not manage that, then that may appear like a disorder, mental disorder, or mental imbalances. These are the
Okay,
things. Yes.
but I want to ask something. So, but that doesn't mean when there are people with schizophrenia that they have been using the Kundalini, right? It has nothing to do with that. It's different.
Actually, anything happens in your energy is definitely because of the energy, right? Schizophrenia is hyperactivity of,
Mine.
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
third eye
But
center.
but he will have like schizophrenia is like two personality, suicidal and things like that. But for example, because I know someone who's young, and he went to study abroad, and it seems that he couldn't handle the hustle and bustle. When he came back, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. How could this happen? And he was 20.
Yeah. See what happens. Psychologists or medical doctors don't comprehend this and don't believe in Kundalini. So they will misunderstand this. But if that can be managed through Kundalini way, then that can be even more useful, because that is an energy, that is activation of higher center. This.
Okay.
And if that person is taken to the Kundalini master, that can be managed in right way, and that person will become more useful, more brilliant, more productive, because these kind of things happen normally in intelligent people, right? Intellectually
Yeah.
intelligent people.
Yeah. But it's not like something that it can be inherited.
Actually, nothing is inherited and everything is inherited. Okay.
Okay. So it can be healed with Kundalini.
Of course.
So like Kundalini, it's a two-way thing. But if he never knew what it is, how come he has it, for example?
Yeah. So any kind of uh, imbalances one feels, intellectual imbalances or psychological imbalances, that is because of certainly the third eye center. Okay. That is hyperactivity of third eye center. So all the, crazy people, lunatic people have this center imbalanced.
Okay.
Of course, they have not this center activated. Otherwise, if this is active, then definitely that will be calming.
Okay.
Because this is calming.
Okay.
And I have noticed this thing mainly in Western world. They are taken to the psychiatrist and they don't understand. They start using drugs and medicines, giving electric shocks and different things. Then things get worsened. Okay, things get worsened. Just today, I was talking to one of my students. She lives in US. When she has this Kundalini awakening, she was sharing her experiences. When she has this kind of awakening, she was feeling, out of control. Her body was shivering, her body was shaking, and she did not know what to do. And she was feeling like frustrated. And fortunately, universe guided her, and she went to a library where she studied the Indian philosophy, Kundalini philosophy. Then she came to know that this is Kundalini. That is not.
Oh.
Yes. Then she came to know.
How can you know? If for example, I am studying it now, okay, but you're talking about somebody who didn't study and she was noticing things that's happening, and then she wanted to check what's wrong with her, right?
Yeah.
She went to the library, and how did she reach to the point where it is something that has to do with like Kundalini or chakras or whatever?
Yeah. So
How
what
can
yeah,
you do that? How can
yeah.
you diagnose that?
What she did, because she has she was born in India, so she has some origination in
Okay,
India.
all right,
So
okay. So but she has a
she
back.
yeah, but she did not have any knowledge about Eastern philosophy because she was living in the US. But she went there, she studied the textbooks of on yoga, and she started applying, practicing these things. Then she controlled everything.
Okay.
Yeah, she controlled, but still there were some imbalances. Then she was seeking where to go, where to get guidance. Then that
Okay.
was how she came to Advaita Yoga School. Now she's
Oh,
doing, and she's feeling much better. Every day she's feeling much better, more confident, more balanced, and more awakened, right?
okay.
Yes,
Right.
Amina. Any question from you?
Yes. So I thank you for that, first of all. But I have some practical questions. You know, I always ask you these little simple questions. You may remember. So let's say that I'm on a path to realize myself, or let's just say that, and then let's say I meditate every day. And then some days I have the experience of samadhi where my Kundalini energy goes all the way to the crown center. And then I enter into samadhi, right? And then the next day it doesn't happen, right? I do my practice, but it doesn't happen, which is fine. It's that day it's not meant to happen or whatever, but it rises up to a certain level and then it stops and things like that. Or the third day, for example, I hear a beautiful music and my heart just opens up, and and I know that my Kundalini energy has come to my heart chakra, right? So all that I understand. But over the course of the time of my discipline, my sadhana, how do I actually know which stage am I in? Where has my Kundalini over the stage been risen to? Or does it go up and down? Because that doesn't actually make sense to me, because the energy has to rise from the Muladhara upwards during the course of your life and even many, many lives.
Right.
Right. So can you explain that? Because I think I'm missing something here. So that's the first question. And then the other question I wanted to ask you was also, everybody talks about when they do Kundalini, they talk about the colors and color and stuff like that. And it's very easy to say, yes, your Muladhara chakra is associated with red, or your third eye is associated with indigo. But actually in practice, what does this mean? Right? Because some people only see indigo when they close their eyes in their inner space. Other people see yellow, or sometimes they see green, but some people just only see indigo or blue. So again, over like short bits, but over longer time also. So for example, I'm actually, to say it in another way, I'm actually saying, hi, how do I know where I have reached, and how, so those are actually two questions. And I had a third question, but maybe you may not want to answer it, because I gather that these 7 chakras also have their associated 7 bodies, right? But that's maybe a bit more going too far. But the first two, please.
Yeah, certainly. So the first question you asked, that it goes higher. Some days you feel trance, some days next day you don't feel, and third day you feel differently, your heart energy or third eye energy. So actually what happens, nothing is stable, but you have to maintain that. You can rise high, but there is possibility to fall down again. There is possibility to come down again. And that is natural. Sometimes you need to be in the transcendental state, in trance, but sometimes you need to be very practical. You need to speak. When you have to speak, then definitely you'll be using your throat chakra. But so long you'll be speaking, you cannot be in the third eye or crown chakra, for sure. At least you can be to the third eye, but not in the crown chakra. So the behaviors change, and with actions, with your behaviors, with actions, you change the energy also. And you will need sometimes navel center energy, what you call Manipur energy. Sometimes you may need Swadhisthana energy. Sometimes you may need Anahat energy, throat and Vishuddhi energy, third energy. But everybody needs every energy at a specific time. But people who live recluse lives or monk lives, right, they don't need to use the lower energies. At least root energy, Muladhara energy, Swadhisthana energy, and they may need to use little bit solar plexus energy, but not more, because solar plexus energy is only for your physical activities. Like you are walking, you are lifting something, you are using physical strength. So that is used by solar plexus. And even monks, when they are walking, when they are doing some physical activities, they are using solar plexus energy. But when you are practicing love, affection, then you are using heart energy, right? When you are expressing the things, you are using throat energy. When you are visualizing, when you are trying to comprehend, when you are analyzing the things, you are using third eye center, this Ajna Chakra energy. When you are in Samadhi, then you are using crown energy, crown center. So that depends on your need, that depends on your mood, that depends, on your state of being, and accordingly you are using that energy center. Okay. And if today you are feeling Samadhi, means you are there, you are using crown energy. But next day you are not feeling, that means either deliberately or undeliberately, knowingly or unknowingly, you were at different level, different zone, different domain, or lower centers. That is why you're not experiencing Samadhi. And again, third day you're experiencing Samadhi, that means you are there. Okay. So that was the answer of the states, everyday states. And that depends on your state, your need. Clear? That was the first question's answer. And second, you are talking about the colors, right? People talk about the colors, that the red is associated with the root chakra, indigo is associated with the third eye chakra, or green with heart, or so on. Okay. And that is true. That is absolutely true. And as you mentioned, that some people, when they close their eyes, they keep watching, keep noticing the indigo color in their meditation constantly or frequently. That means their Ajna chakra is more active. So whatever chakra is active, that time you see that color in your meditation. But that again keeps changing. If you are closing your eyes and you are naturally, without visualization, without efforts, if you are seeing the yellow color, that means your solar plexus is active that time. But again, next moment that can change. Okay. So that is absolutely true. And whatever color you are using, you are stimulating, you are affecting that corresponding chakra. So that therefore you have to be very mindful in using the colors.
So then I have another confusing question then.
Yeah.
So now I understand that that according to your need, right, like your energy level fluctuates between your sahasrara and then goes down. When you're really eating and enjoying your food, it goes down to your swadhisthana. And then when you're feeling really affectionate, it goes to your heart. I understand. Okay. But there is an unspoken hierarchy of the chakras, right? Mm-hmm. It goes up, right?
Yeah.
So then here is the dilemma. Here is the problem that I don't understand. Mm-hmm. So if a person has been meditating and practicing for a long time, mm-hmm. and has reached a certain stage in his or her spiritual journey, mm-hmm. and has become a yogi, let's say, and in Hindi and Sanskrit and Nepali, we talk about yog bhrashta, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yog bhrashta, right? Now, how does that happen then? One, but also given that another aspect to is that when you read all these spiritual books, it says that spiritually you never regress. You may fail and stay in the same class for years and years and years, but you actually don't ever regress. That is true, right? You regress. So then if you are at a certain stage and you are not going to regress spiritually backwards ever, but maybe fail, but then why is this yog bhrashta relevant?
Yeah, the term yog bhrasht is used for people who go down. Okay, who go down, like people who are in that higher standard of living, and they went down and they started becoming mundane. That is called yog bhrasht. So one enters into that order of life, spiritual order of life. Then somehow, because of samskara, because of karma, because of some karmic balances, they had to come down. So that was yog bhrasht, and that is very good technique and good strategy to not regress. Okay, not regret, no regression. So if you don't regret, that is good thing. That means that will enable you to ascend again. Okay, if you regret and if you go back, and you can be there so long you don't endeavor to move forward. Okay, so yog bhrasht people can be in that state for maybe for a certain time period, but there is always a scope to come again in yog. Bhrasht means to go down. Okay, this is called bhrasht, yog bhrasht. But again, there is possibility to go into the yogic state always. So there is one perspective. Another perspective is, in reality, there is no bhrasht. In highest reality, there is no bhrasht. There is no coming, going. There is nothing happening. You are always in nirvana. You are always in that state. Only from outer perspective, only from external point of view, you see that going up and going down. But in the world of spirit, in the world of soul, in the world of nirvana, there is no up, there is no down, there is no middle. Everywhere is that divine. Okay, even you go to the hell, divine is also in the hell. Divine is not only in the heaven. Divine is equally available everywhere. So that is the actually matter of perspective. That is the matter of your approach. Okay, even if Buddha will go to the hell, that hell will become heaven because of Buddha. If Jesus will go to the hell, that hell will become heaven, because not because of that hell, because of Jesus, because of that Buddha, because of that person. So if you are awakened, if you have reached there, then you have to maintain that. And when you become master of that, then you cannot come down. You cannot be bhrasht ever. Right? There is no scope of being bhrasht. But from outer perspective, from external perspective, when you see anything from outside, then only you see that that person went there, then went there. Okay, there is no up and down. Okay, from a spiritual perspective, from highest reality. But from middle plane, things you see that is going up, that is going down. Kundalini is going up, Kundalini is going down. Okay, so that is the answer.
Is that what we call in Bindu?
Bindu? Bindu is energy.
Okay, because here in the book, when we're talking about Bindu, it's the energy, yeah, and it's how it falls. Is this part of what you're saying now?
Yeah, that is also part of Yog Bhrasht. That is also part of Yog Bhrasht. Like this, like see, there is a yogi who is observing celibacy, but somehow that yogi was enticed, was, influenced with a beautiful woman and made sex. Then that is called Yog Bhrasht. For yogis, there is no sex. Similarly, that is very carnal bhrasht, but there is some psychological bhrasht also. What is psychological bhrasht? If you are in a yogic state, you are living yogic life, but if you have any desire, the moment any desire, any craving crops up in you, you are bhrasht. So the literal bhrasht happens at the end, but the bhrasht, that bhrasht means the falling, this is called discharging or falling. It starts right from in subtle form. So you have to be very vigilant. If you are not vigilant, then you start falling subtle form, and that will manifest on your material form, gross form also one day. Got the point? So bhrasht, the journey starts from the subtle form. Okay. Yeah.
And that leads me to another question that keep making me wonder all the time, which is, we are talking about when you reach to the yogi level, so birth and new birth and new generation, and you're not supposed to have sex, no children. Okay, but you're talking about you're killing lives. I mean, you don't want to add lives into the universe. So isn't this against nature?
That is not against nature. That's not against nature. Because you're not reproducing anything. Reproductive organ or reproducing, because when you become yogi, then yogi means you have finished your journey. There is no more rebirth. There is no more rebirth. There is no more arising of any desire, no more arising of any wish, any ambition. No ambition, no wish. Even you don't wish anything, even good also. You don't wish any negative, and also you don't wish positive also. Then only you can become super yogi. Otherwise, you will remain in the lower level. Yes, you cannot be super yogi. Super yogi is who has stopped his journey. Stopped means, yes, who has got rid of journey, who has got rid of any seeking, any new arising of any new story, no story, nothing. Okay. Yes.
So just to clarify this with an example. So let's say there is a yogi who has reached 12th grade. Right? Okay, he has reached whatever he has to reach in this lifetime. Okay, and then he falls down.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's brushed. He goes down to class 8 or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I know that there is no high and up and whatever in the bigger scheme of things. I understand that. Yeah. But let's say just practically he goes down to the 8th grade, right? Yeah. So he has to start again from 8th grade in this life or next life or whatever to go up again, right? In his path upwards. But how does this tally then when it is said in our scriptures that actually spiritually you never regress? So let's say that this yogi had already reached whatever level he had, or whatever his 5th body or 6th body or whatever. He falls down. Now he has to start again from grade 8. But actually in his next life, if you don't spiritually regress, he should actually start from where before he fell down. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Actually, see, where you were, at whatever plane you had died, at whatever grade you had died, your next life starts from there. Actually, everyone's life starts from scratch. Everyone, even in this life, if you are Bodhisattva, not Buddha, because Buddha is never born again. If you become complete Buddha, then you will be not born again. Okay. But so long you are Bodhisattvas, you will be taking birth again and again. And there are some Buddhas who are still in Bodhisattva stage, not Buddha stage, complete Buddha stage. So some fall deliberately and some fall undeliberately. Got my point? If Buddha falls deliberately, then Buddha has capability to rise again because he's master. This is like someone has fell down in the river and doesn't know how to swim, and someone jumps into the river to save that person. That person who jumps into the river should be capable to swim, should be capable to get out of the river. Okay, then only that person can come out of the river and taking the other people also. Otherwise, that person will also die in that flow only, because that person is not capable to get out of that state. Right? So this is the matter of skill. If you're skillful, then you can fall down and you can rise immediately. But if you're not skillful, you'll go there and you will leave and you will doomed to suffer for a long period of time. But again, fortunately, and because of your good karma, you'll come in contact with awakened one, Buddha, Yogi, then again Buddha will hold your hand and will take you out from that state.
I have one last question, kind of related to Kundalini, and I think that's it. Maybe not, but so if if everything is consciousness around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if everything is Advait, which is the name of your yoga, there's no duality,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That you and I are the same consciousness, my computer and the table and whatever is the same consciousness, then why does like my world feel so real for me?
Yes, very good question. So in Vedanta philosophy, we teach about this thing in Vedanta philosophy, and we teach that there are three forms of Satya, truth. One is Paramarthik Satya. Second is Vyavaharik Satya. And third is Pratibhashik Satya. Paramarthik, Vyavaharik, and Pratibhashik Satya, truth. So
sorry, first was what? Paramarthik?
Paramarthik. Paramarthik means absolute truth.
Okay, it's absolute truth again.
And second is Vyavaharik, means practical truth.
Practical.
And third is Pratibhasik. Pratibhasik means resemblance, appearance.
Appearance, okay.
Pratibhasik. Okay. So you can understand this like body, mind, and soul. Body, mind, and soul. So on body plane, everyone is different, completely unique on body plane. And whatever your body is feeling, my body cannot feel at corporal plane. Okay. Second is psychological plane. On psychological plane, there are very much similarity. That is called Vyavaharik. And Paramarthik is spiritual. There is completely oneness on a spiritual plane. Your soul, my soul, Lina's soul, even an animal soul, a tree soul, a rock soul, everyone's soul is same. And everyone is sharing the same energy, same consciousness, same life force, same existence. Everyone is sharing the same existence, single existence. That is Paramarthik Satya. And Vyavaharik Satya is practically, So practically, see, what you call spiritually, everyone is one. Even the snake, the venomous snake is same as you are spiritually, but practically they are different. If you embrace the snake, if snake will bite you, that will take your life. Tiger has the same soul, sharing the same truth, same existence, same divinity, but you have to keep yourself safe. Electricity has the same source, but you will have to save yourself from electricity. Okay, that is called practical. So practically, vyavharikta you'll have to maintain. Otherwise, you will be, affected negatively. Vyavharik. And pratibhasik is appearance truth. So the things what appear is not their realities. So all the appearances are illusions actually. All are illusions. Even your body, your personality, my personality, the Yogi Anand who is sitting here, Navina who is sitting there, Lina is sitting there, all look very real as appearances, but that is not reality of you, me, Lina, or everyone. Okay, so appearance truth is different. Like you are looking at my face, you are looking the color, you are all the visuals stuff are actually illusions. Okay, so Advait, there is Advait, of course, spiritually Advait, psychologically somewhat Advait, but physically no Advait. Okay.
I'll say that again. So, absolutely, the absolute one, all is Advait, right?
Yes.
And then the psychological is just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then at the individual level, there is no Advait.
No Advait.
But then how would you then sometimes during whatever sadhana and stuff you get a glimpse of Advait, but I suppose being enlightened means actually having this great experience of Advait that you feel the same with everything, but then you have to come back to your reality, which is at this prativashik plane, which is everybody is different.
Yeah, so this is what is yoga. This is what is Buddhahood. This is what is enlightenment. You have to come completely in Advaita state. Even somebody asks your life and you don't hesitate to give your life. That is complete non-dualistic Advaita state. But for that, you need courage. Somebody asks you some money and you think 100 times, 1,000 times, should I give that money to that person or not? That means philosophically, intellectually, you say I'm in Advait, but practically you're not in Advait. So you'll have to bring that Advait in practice. Then only you will be accomplished. Then only your journey will reach to its culmination, to its, conclusion.
But in reality, I mean, you can't be that 100%, especially with everything going around, unless you separate yourself from the world, right?
Yeah. That is why not everyone cannot become Buddha.
Yeah.
Everyone cannot become complete yogi. When you become complete Advait yogi, then yes, you are completely impractical. What people call practical, people exhort you, hey, be practical, right? But that practical is being different.
Okay, and then if you reach there, how can you help people? Aren't we supposed to be in that level where we also help?
Yeah, you naturally help. You don't make efforts to help. Rather, you're always the help, always releasing from you, secreting from you, emanating from you.
Yeah, but I mean, for example, like if somebody's sick, they ask you to come and help.
Yeah.
You can't say no. So
actually,
this is what?
You don't need to say no, or you don't need to say yes. Even people will come to you and will come in your aura, that people will be automatically helped. This is what happened with people who are coming to Jesus. Jesus was not doing anything. Some came and he touched his body and was healed. He did not heal. Got my point? You don't have to endeavor, you don't have to make efforts to help people. Help is naturally flowing through you. This is like the fragrance, which is always flowing through from the flower. Flower doesn't make efforts to, spread the fragrance. So
yeah, but the flower, in order to reach that, it needs someone to put water on it, right?
flower is already that state. Flower has already that reached that state. Means if you reach that Buddhahood state or yogi state, then people naturally get helped just by being, just coming in your circumference, in your aura, in your contact field. Even you have died, your body has died, but when you reach there, then you go beyond death, you go beyond birth and death, right? You become the existence itself, you become the divine itself.
So that's
Yeah.
so that's why now I get it. That's why there is so much emphasis on the one hand on Gita to not have the karta bhav.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. And then on the other hand on Buddha's tathata, to accept whatever comes by.
Yes, yes.
That things just happen through you, kind of thing.
Right.
No karta bhav, no desire for any kind of outcome that you want, nishkam karma, and then the tathata bhav. Now I get it. So then things, okay, but okay. And sorry, since I have one last question, last question. So let's say, what I'm always curious is that, when somebody is on a spiritual path, right?
Mhm.
Or somebody has attained, that means the person's consciousness, I mean, it's one with the universe, right? But the personality traits don't change, do they? So the common mistake we make is that we say, oh my God, the person has reached, the person is enlightened, so therefore the person shouldn't be angry, the person shouldn't be this, no. We have all these ideas and expectations of can you say something on that?
Yeah, of course. Actually, although you become Buddha, you are a perfect master of the Tathata. You're living the Tathata. But your behavior sometimes may appear differently. Okay? But because you are not behaving, you're not there. The universe is behaving. The universe is manifesting through you. You don't regulate anything. You don't pretend anything. You don't act anything. So you're in flow. Actually, you are no more. You are not there. What is flowing through you, manifesting through you, divine. And you must not judge. And people must not judge your behaviors. If people are judging you, they are making mistakes. And you yourself has already transcended the judgmental attitude. You're not judging even the universe. If some things, so-called wrong things had happened through you, you don't judge that is wrong, because divine is never wrong. If sometimes you yelled at someone, you did not yell, rather divine yelled. Sometimes you were angry, you're not angry. Divine was angry, and that was the divine to manage things. Sometimes Shiva becomes very fierce. He becomes very angry, very destructive. That means you cannot judge Shiva as wrong, right? Even sometimes Buddha was behaving like angry. When Devdutt attacked on him, right? Then Devdutt approached him to rejoin the order, but Buddha did not allow him. That you cannot judge that Buddha was discriminating. No, Buddha was not discriminating. That was the way of divine. Divine was.
So it's like as if we are like the messenger, the person in the middle.
Even you're not messenger also.
I mean, you're saying divine, and there is yogi, and there is the people that is judging you. So when so we are in the middle. So we are like receiving and sending.
Actually, you're not in the middle also. You are nowhere. You are nowhere.
Okay.
So long you are living, you are alive as a person. Actually, you have already completely sublimated, completely, annihilated yourself. You are no more. So long you are there, you are not complete divine, complete channel. So long you are there, divine will not manifest in full-fledged. If you have to allow the divine to manifest full-fledged through you, then you will have to be no more. You will have to completely disappear. Not in the middle, nowhere. You will have to be hollow, empty hollow.
That's when you reach the Buddha and the yogi.
Yes.
I mean
That is yogic state. That is Buddhahood state. You are no more. And if you have any idea that I'm Lina, I'm someone who is helping, I'm someone who has donated, who has done charity, who is medium, who is healer, no sense of healer. So long you have any idea of healership, you cannot be complete healer.
Okay, a doctor is a doctor.
Yeah, this is what Navina was mentioning. Akarta bhav, non-doership.
Yeah, but I mean, we are all doing something for a reason, for a humanity, for universe. So, but we don't talk about it. But I mean, in a way or another, I mean, the doctor is doing his job. He's
Actually,
not telling you, I am doing so. No, but he's doing it by flow.
You are greater than doctor. You are not doctor. You are greater than doctor. Okay. You have no sense of that you are means, you are cause. No sense of anything. No idea of that you are cause even. If you have any idea that I am cause, again, you are in error.
So,
yeah.
Okay, practically, so for example, let's say that you have reached, right, that stage where you are just a hollow bamboo through which things happen, right, through which divinity works.
Yes.
Or the rule of existence works, right?
Yeah.
But so you want to open a yoga school, right? The idea that I want to help people and open the yoga school, practically speaking, is actually then put into your head by existence, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, that's the thing.
You see what I mean? Because there is a very fine line. I mean, I understand in the case of like people like Buddha and whoever, where, you know, we say, okay, he's completely not there and things like that. But in the mortal world that we live in, right? So there is always confusion, I mean, I understand at the ego level. I completely understand at the ego level that you don't go around saying, oh, I'm helping, I'm doing this, I'm smart, I'm this, I'm no. That I understand, right? But when you want to do stuff and when existence wants to do things through you, that's when the fine line is distorted. So the ideas is just put in your head, or how can you explain that a bit further?
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to understand. I got so complicated. It's a fine line between both. So how? I mean, without me saying, I would like, because I am a kind of a person, I am a giver. I'd like to give people, but I'm not talking about it. I'm not bragging about it, and I'm not having any expectation in return. But where does that put me?
Yeah. Like Navina has rightly pointed this out, that Advaita Yoga School, setting up of this school, and managing all these affairs, courses, and all these things. Actually, all these called vyavaharik truth, what you see from outside, from external perspective.
The number 2, vyavaharik truth, yeah.
Yeah, vyavaharik truth. Like I'm managing, I'm disciplining, I'm frightened. Sometimes, I discipline my teachers. I say, hey, exactly. Come on time, do this thing, do these things, Even when I use I, although I am in that yogic state, but sometimes I have to use I word to represent me, to represent this person, Yogi Anand, right? But if any idea arises that ego sense or individual sense, that means I have to correct myself. If I have any idea that I'm doing this, I had set up this school, I'm managing all these things, then I'm in error, I'm in mistake, and I have to correct myself immediately. And you have right to point me out, hey, Yogi Anand, you are saying that you are yogi and you have a sense of ego, you have a sense of honorhood, you have sense of, all these things. You are, supposed to tell me, and you have to remind me. This is what is Buddha, what is said by Buddha. Buddha says, let no monk do wrong, commit wrong. Let no monk make the horses. Let no monk, assert anything. These are the commandments of Buddha. Buddha says, if any yogi, if any monk is arising new, is giving rise to the new thing, you have to stop him. So that was the exhortation to the brotherhood, to the other people of the other monks. If you find anybody is making mistake, please correct him. Okay, because sometimes if you become unconscious, sometimes because of your samskara, because of your lifelong nature, you assert, you claim that I am Yogi Anand, I am this, and I am doing this, I am, if any sense of ego is perceived by anyone, that person has to point this out. But sometimes because of courtesy, because of the, respect, modesty, you don't tell that. This is good thing. You should not question Buddha. You should not question a yogi, right? But a yogi should be self-disciplined. A yogi should be, always analyzing oneself, always meditating, always contemplating, always introspecting, that whether any sense of I comes in me, any sense of doership is there in me. This is what is meditation of Buddhas. This is what is meditation of yogis. On every Purnima, what we call Uposat in Buddhism, there is a ceremony they do that is called Uposat. Uposat is they sit together on full moon, not only full moon, but every fortnight, and they gather and they confess if they had make any mistake. Confession. This is called confession ceremony also. So they were doing confession ceremony, and they were so honest. They were saying, sir, that day, during that fortnight, during that 15 days, that day I had an arising of sensuality, sexuality, or a craving of food, a craving of self-respect, a craving of this thing. They express, and that is how one was cleansing and one was correcting. Okay, and there was no regression of Buddha. Buddha had never made mistake. And this is the sutras or scriptures say that even gods who live inside your consciousness, God also did not spot any mistake, any error in Buddha's consciousness. No thought of sex, no thought of craving, no thought of any ambition, no thought of any negativity, no thought of any doership, no thought of any I-ness was arising in Buddha, because he had completely burned the seeds. That was called nirbij samadhi. Seedless. He had reached the seedless state. There is no springing up, no sprouts, because all the seeds of new arising was completely burnt that night. Which night? When he got enlightenment. And since then, there was no arising. Okay? So Buddha, there was no regression, there was no confession for Buddha, because there was no anything inside him.
I suppose unless that you just said it, unless and until you are at the state where there is no sense of like ego, I and am, and I and even am, and things like that, that big or enlightenment existence probably doesn't give it to you, because you still have the sense of I. It's only when it's dead, it's not there, then it gives it to you, and then it makes sense that whatever is done by Buddha is actually channeled by existence. It looks like Buddha's doing, but actually he's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. See, I'm reminded of Osho's saying. He kept telling people that if a dead body says, I'm not dead, or I am dead, even if a dead body says, I am dead, Osho was telling this. If a dead body says, I am dead, what is the meaning? That means that person
is not dead.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to keep you very long, but I thank you very much. I was listening to Osho's old lectures of Jean Kojati Paya today. And then he was talking about Kundalini Jagaran and all the 7 bodies, and that's for some other time. And it was just profoundly interesting, the 7 bodies and how you move up and etc. etc. It was really, really interesting. I mean, for Linas, it doesn't work because it was all in Hindi, but it was just so amazing. Have you listened to that?
With me. Please share with me. I would like to know.
No, but it's in Hindi. The lecture is in Hindi.
No, but I mean, if you can ask your question about what you were saying about these 7 bodies, you wanted to ask a question. I would like to hear what's the question and what's the answer, because I am also in the Chakra Healing studying. So I'm interested to know what you were going to ask about this. You were going to ask Guruji something about these 7 bodies?
Actually, my question, my thing was more just actually I don't specifically have a question now about the 7 bodies, because today I listened for an hour and a half and I still have to internalize a lot of things that he said, but I just found it so interesting how you rise through these bodies, the physical, the etheric, the astral, the mental, and then just to come here. Once you come here, he says the spiritual body is when you've realized your soul. But a lot of the Judeo-Christian traditions, they just stop here, and there's no further discussion of mysticism, therefore, and how you go up here and that's the end. So nobody can come back and tell you what there is beyond, non-existent. It was just so fantastic, the lecture. And so I still have to internalize it, but I was just telling you that. And then I have one question. When these gurus actually on their disciples, when they give you darshan or something, they touch the different parts of your from third eye up on some disciples. On some disciples they touch here, on some they touch here, on some they touch here. What does that mean? Because I thought the third eye was just here, that the chakra was here. So why would you touch here?
Yeah, actually, this forehead is the area of the third eye.
Yeah, okay.
This forehead, okay.
And so what does it mean, meaning touching here and touching here?
Yeah, this is actually because that kind of intuition, when somebody is touching, that master or healer or that person has intuition where to touch. Actually, he is not touching. That energy is touching to that point.
Okay.
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 So does this mean then that your energy is going further up?
Yeah. That is the meaning. That is the meaning.
Okay.
Okay. So that was.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's more than an hour. It's more than an hour. Thank you so much for your time. It's nice seeing you remotely again.